Did you know that for tens of thousands of Pennsylvanians, the absolute hardest part of getting a driver's license isn't parallel parking? It's literally just getting an appointment on the calendar? Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to dive into the often frustrating process of securing a driving test appointment in Pennsylvania. Today, we're going to transform you from a confused beginner into an absolute scheduling pro.
To understand why it's so incredibly difficult to get a time slot, we really have to look at the numbers. Get this. A massive 15.5% of people fail to show up for their scheduled road tests. That means more than 1 in every 10 appointments goes completely to waste, creating a huge artificial bottleneck across the entire state.
That percentage translates to a pretty harsh reality. Almost 6,000 Pennsylvanians missed their road test slots in just a single 3-month period. That's thousands of wasted slots. This artificial bottleneck is exactly why finding an open slot feels completely impossible. But hey, don't worry, because we've got the step-by-step solution to get you through this digital bureaucracy without losing your mind. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll cover the DMV scheduling struggle, essential prerequisites, navigating the online portal, state versus third-party options, troubleshooting, and wrap up with some final reminders. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the DMV scheduling struggle. So PennDOT uses what's called a bifurcated framework to balance public wait times. What does that actually mean for you? Well, it means you can't just walk into a regional driver license center expecting to take a road test. The state strictly mandates that all human resource-dependent testing appointments, like your physical driving evaluation, absolutely must go through their digital gateway. Those regional walk-in centers, they're mostly for cashless walk-in transactions. Save your spare change for the parking meter, folks. For your road test, you literally have to use the 24/7 online scheduling system. Moving right along to Section 2, essential prerequisites. Okay, let's dive into the essential checklist of what you actually need before you even think about opening your web browser to book. The crucial thing here is that absolutely everyone needs a valid, unexpired Pennsylvania learner's permit to schedule. But teens, listen up, because you face some very strict timelines. If you're under 18, you're required to hold your permit for a mandatory 6-month waiting period before you can even take the test. And during this time, you've got to rack up a minimum of 65 hours of supervised behind-the-wheel practice. They are super specific about this too. That has to include at least 10 hours of nighttime driving and 5 hours in bad weather conditions. Once you've knocked that out, your supervising adult must sign Form DL-180C, which is the Parent or Guardian Certification Form. You absolutely have to physically bring this signed form to your road test, so do not forget it.
Next up, Section 3, navigating the online portal.
With your paperwork completely sorted, let's transition to the actual booking process on PennDOT's online portal. The state uses a pretty strict 3-tiered identity verification system to securely pull up your specific driving record. First, you're going to navigate to the PennDOT scheduling portal. Next, you'll need your 9-digit driver number. You can find that physically printed right there on your valid learner's permit. Finally, just input your date of birth and the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. Now, if you're a foreign national or non-immigrant visa holder without an SSN, no problem, you can use the last 4 digits of your alien number instead. Once they verify you, boom, the calendar of available slots opens right up. But wait, what if you try to do all this and you find yourself just staring at a broken web page? Believe it or not, it happens way more often than you'd think. The state's portal actually has some very specific technical requirements you really need to know about. To avoid major headaches, make sure you're using an approved modern browser. PennDOT notes that for the best results, you've got to use Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Microsoft Edge. Seriously, outdated browsers like Internet Explorer are absolutely not supported and will likely just crash the whole system, leaving you right back at square one. Also, as you navigate these digital services, you've got to be highly vigilant. Because online transactions have grown, so have digital security threats. Cybercriminals are constantly running active phishing campaigns, sending out fraudulent text messages claiming to be from the DMV. They might tell you that you have unpaid fines or scheduling fees. Please remember this. PennDOT never, ever contacts residents via text message regarding traffic violations, fees, or scheduling. Just don't click those suspicious links on your phone. All right, Section 4, state versus third party. So what if you successfully log in, but the state portal is showing literally 0 available appointments for weeks or even months? If you want to avoid those notorious wait times, you really have 2 main options. Because of that massive bottleneck we talked about earlier, state-administered driver license centers often have wait times of weeks or months. The upside is that the test itself is free since it's covered by your initial permit fee. The state also lets you cancel online up to 24 hours prior with no direct financial penalty. However, PennDOT also coordinates with certified private third-party testers. These are independent businesses that administer the exact same state-approved skills exam. The big benefit here? They offer expedited access, sometimes getting you in as short as 48 hours. The catch is that they'll charge a premium out-of-pocket fee for the convenience, and they have way stricter cancellation policies. Usually they require 48 hours notice, otherwise they'll hit you with late fees or no-show penalties.
Let's move into Section 5, troubleshooting. Even with perfect planning, things can and do go wrong. So let's walk through how to handle failures and administrative lockouts. It's a stressful scenario, sure, but it happens. If you fail your exam, you can't just immediately hop back on the website and book a slot for the next morning. Failing triggers an automatic administrative lock in the state's scheduling database.
The system enforces exact penalty wait times, and it all depends on your age. If you're under 18, you're facing a mandatory 7-day cooling-off period. The state wants to ensure you actually spend a week practicing your safe driving maneuvers before giving it another shot. For adults 18 and over, it's a much shorter 1-day waiting period. This allows you to schedule a retest for the subsequent business day, assuming you can actually find a slot available.
But you've really got to keep a close eye on your attempts. You only get 3 strikes on a single learner's permit. If you happen to fail the skills test 3 times, your underlying permit is totally invalidated for skills evaluation. If that happens, you aren't completely out of luck, but you will have to file Form DL-31, which is the application to add, extend, or replace a permit, and pay additional state fees just to renew your permit and reset your testing attempts back to 0.
Finally, Section 6, Final Reminders.
Bureaucratic rules, fees, and procedures always seem to shift over time. So while this step-by-step guide gets you fully prepared and through the door, always double-check the official state website, dmv.pa.gov, right before your big test day to ensure nothing has changed. You now hold the keys to navigating the system like a pro. But it does leave you wondering, with nearly 6,000 missed appointments in just 3 months, will the state eventually be forced to completely overhaul this system? Or are premium third-party testers the unavoidable future of the DMV? Good luck scheduling, and happy driving.